Hello, my name is Danielle Blanchard. I was born and raised in Kasilof, Alaska. I've worked with the Alaska Native Tribal Health Consortium since 2010 in various departments. Most recently, I have worked with organizational development. And today, I'm going to talk to you about who we are, where we've been, and where we're going. My intent in this conversation with you is to give you an idea of not only who ANTHC is, but also how we intend to go towards our vision and our future goals. Unlike most organizations, ANTHC leads with its vision statement that Alaska Natives are the healthiest people in the world. To support that vision, our mission statement and our values help give us some guiding behavioral practices. ANTHC values are very important, and I encourage each member of our employment to take a look at these values and memorize them, and also to think about them as you continue to listen to this presentation. The values of achieving excellence, Native self-determination, treating with respect and integrity, health and wellness, and compassion come into play with our everyday lives at ANTHC. ANTHC's key customer group are the Alaska Natives of the state of Alaska. There are roughly 150,000 Alaska Natives, and they comprise about 229 tribes. These tribes are organized into roughly 39 tribal health organizations. ANTHC as a corporation is comprised of four main divisions. The first division, the Alaska Native Medical Center, is the hospital, as well as our outlying clinics. ANTHC employs roughly 80% of our employees. DHE, or the Division of Environmental Health and Engineering, primarily works with our rural communities to provide safe water and sewer systems. DHE also does environmental monitoring. DCHS, or the Division of Community Health Services, helps create capacity within the Alaska Tribal Health System by providing programs such as our CHAP, our Community Health Aid Program. They also do programs such as epidemiology, tobacco cessation, and cancer screenings. The last division is CBSS, or the Consortium Business Support Services. This division houses departments such as finance, human resources, and organizational development. ANTHC likes to say that we have a vision that goes back about 40 years. Though there's a good argument to say that this vision really goes back further than that. We track our history starting in the year 1953. In 1953, the Indian Health Services operated the original Native hospital down on 3rd Avenue in Anchorage. We still have a lot of employees within ANTHC who were born in that hospital. At that time, the federal government had complete management over all Indian health programs. In 1969, the Alaska Native Health Board was created. This board was created as an advisory board for the Indian Health Services to advise the IHS on specifically Alaska Native challenges. In 1975, Congress passed the Indian Self-Determination and Education Assistance Act. This opened the gateway to allow for tribally management health programs throughout the state. If we fast forward a little bit into the 90s, you start to see some planning going on for the idea of ANTHC and their ability to take over from the Indian Health Services, the tribal programs. In 1997, ANMC, as it exists today, was opened here on Tudor. At the time, it was about a 150-bed hospital. It's grown since then. In the late 90s, we start to see more momentum towards ANTHC as it exists today. In 97, in September, Congress passes an act that actually creates the structure for which ANTHC will follow. In December of that same year, ANTHC is officially incorporated as a 501c3 nonprofit and as a tribal entity. In January of '98, ANTHC appoints its first board members. We still have 4 of those original board members on our board today, which has allowed for a lot of continuity in our programs and our management. In September of '98, ANTHC files a formal proposal to take over management of the health programs from the Indian Health Services. And in January of 1999, ANTHC completes that transfer and raises the flag. We become the largest tribal self-governance organization in the United States. This is a distinction we still hold today. Tribal ownership is one of the key values within ANTHC, that value of native self-determination. This allows for ANTHC to do local decision-making. Instead of health programs being directed from Maryland, the IHS headquarters, or even Portland, the West Coast headquarters, this allows for Alaskan tribal members to direct where these programs are and how they face the challenges that are unique to the state. This has also allowed for different resources of funding to be available, flexibility in our access to grants, as well as tribal status protections has allowed for access to other funding, either statewide or in the federal government. ANTHC is a member of what's referred to as the Alaska Tribal Health System. This is a system that employs roughly 6,000 Alaskans throughout the state. The health system is made up of the 150,000 Alaska Natives and is a voluntary affiliation of the 39 Alaskan tribal organizations. Each of these 39 different tribal or health organizations serves a specific geographic region in the state. As you can see, these regions vary not only their size, but also their population base. So what makes this a system? In 2004, a memorandum of understanding was created that linked the 39 tribal health organizations into the Alaska Tribal Health System. They share the advocacy of the Alaska Native Health Board, that health board that was originally created in 1969 to advise the Indian Health Services, still exists today. They also have the ability to create what's referred to as the statewide legislative priority list. Instead of each of these regions competing amongst each other for state funding, they come together and they agree on a priority list for the challenges facing their populations today. This is referred to as the Alaska Native Health Plan. This same ability to come to an agreement and a priority list is utilized in negotiations with the Indian Health Services. On an annual basis, the 39 tribal groups come together to negotiate with the Indian Health Services what is referred to as the Alaska Tribal Health Compact. This is the agreement between the Indian Health Services and the Alaska Tribal Health System on what funding should be put forward towards what programs. The state of Alaska is very large, as many people know. And this provides us with one of the biggest challenges to care that our people face. The term access to care means something a little different in the lower 48 than it does up here. Access to care in the lower 48 often refers to the ability or availability of appointments. Here, it actually refers to the availability or ability to get to your appointment. So the challenges. We've mentioned the access to health care, but there's some other challenges as well. The status of health. The Alaska Native population faces different health status challenges than most of the U.S. population. For example, this list here is the leading causes of death for the Alaska Native people. You will notice that it looks slightly different than the U.S. population. The leading cause of death among the U.S. population is heart disease. For the Alaska Native peoples, it's cancer. So our vision. Our vision is that Alaska Natives are the healthiest people in the world. This is a very ambitious vision. This is a vision that we want to take the 150,000 Alaska Natives in this state, and out of the billions of people on this planet, make them the healthiest individuals out there.